When you're ready.
Your Honor, call Laura Owens.
All right.
Laura, how are you feeling?
Nervous.
Okay. Just breathe and we'll get through this really quick, okay? Laura, we've talked about the timeline of events, and I want to just really quickly run through. When did you first meet Mr. Eckerd?
May the 17th, I believe we connected on LinkedIn.
Okay. And were you intimate with him at some point?
Yes.
What day was that?
May 20th.
At some point after you were intimate with him, did you test positive for pregnancy?
Yes.
Do you remember the first time that happened?
It was the evening of May 31st.
Okay. After you tested positive the first time, did you do anything to confirm the pregnancy?
Yes.
What did you do?
I went to Banner Health Urgent Care the next day and I took a test there.
On June 1st?
Yes.
If you can look at the screen in front of you, it says Exhibit 2. That's actually the wrong number. But that's a printout of the positive pregnancy test you received from Banner
Yes.
on June 1st?
Yes.
Okay. And after you got the second positive test, what did you do?
I told Mr. Eckerd.
All right. Did you go see him at some point to talk about it?
Yes.
What day was that?
June 17th.
You went over to his house, I understand?
Yes.
When you showed up at his house, did he ask you to take a pregnancy test?
He did.
Did you know in advance that he was going to give you that test?
I did not.
Did you take the test in front of him?
Yes, I did.
Did he actually watch you pee on a stick?
Yes, he did.
What was the result of that?
It was positive.
After you had the third test that was positive with him, did he send you an email at some point to talk about the situation?
Yes.
All right, looking at the screen in front of you, is this the email that Mr. Eckerd sent you on, it looks like June 21st?
Yes.
The third paragraph down has some highlighted text, and I'll just read it. Considering you only performed oral sex on me and no vaginal penetration occurred, the chances of you being pregnant seem considerably low. Although again, maybe rubbing up against one another allowed a sperm to make its way inside you. It's a very low probability. Nevertheless, it is one. First of all, Clayton wrote that to you. Yes?
Yes.
And did you have conversations with him where he told you that he thought you were pregnant?
Yes.
Is that verbal conversations or text or email or all three?
All three.
Okay. Moving right along, after you got this email on, and I'll move to admit, Your Honor, Petitioner's Exhibit A2.
Any objection? A2 is received.
After the email of June 21st, what happened next in terms of your proceeding to verify the pregnancy?
I took additional tests.
Did you have a sonogram done in California?
Yes, I did.
And where was that done?
Planned Parenthood.
And you understand, and I'm sure Mr. Woodnick will ask you about this. Planned Parenthood has not been able to verify that you were ever seen there. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yes. I went under a fake name when I went there.
Okay. And you had a sonogram done. Did you ever present that sonogram as evidence in any court proceeding anywhere?
No.
We have obviously presented it in this case, but you've admitted already that you changed the name at the top or the location. Did you change the name at the top of the sonogram?
Of the location, yes.
Why did you do that?
I changed it because Mr. Eckerd was being threatening towards me and I didn't want him to know where I had gone and try to track down my providers.
Okay. After the Planned Parenthood sonogram, do you remember approximately what date that was? I know you signed a declaration, I think it said July 2nd, and then there may be a conflict. Do you remember what date that was?
It was actually the end of June.
Okay. Were you in California both weekends? Is that what confusion was?
Yes.
All right. After the sonogram in California, around July 23rd, did something happen in terms of you passing tissue or anything like that?
Yes.
Can you explain briefly what happened on July 23rd?
Yeah. I wasn't having any symptoms at all, but I did pass tissue that looked like it could have potentially been a miscarriage. I'm not sure if you're going to pull that up or if I was looking for something.
I'll wait.
Okay. Yeah. It looked like it could potentially be miscarriage tissue, but I wasn't sure.
Did you seek any medical care after July 23rd, after the tissue passed?
Yes.
Related to that?
Yes.
What did you do?
I texted a hotline for pregnancy and miscarriage questions, and I also did an appointment with a telemedicine doctor as well.
Okay, and what did they tell?
Video visit.
I'm sorry, what did they tell you?
They,
Fact on listener.
Hold on 1 second. Overruled.
Go ahead.
that means to go ahead. Okay. What was the question? What did they tell me?
Yeah. What information did they give you, if any?
They told me that I needed to monitor myself, but that they felt like unless I had more symptoms, I didn't need to worry that it was a miscarriage.
Okay. And after July 23rd, did you take any other pregnancy tests shortly after that date?
Yes, I did.
What date?
I believe the 27th and then also August 1st before I filed this case.
Okay. So the day that you filed, before you filed this case, how many pregnancy tests did you have?
5.
So you had one on May 31st. You had one on June 1st at Banner. You had another one on June 17th with Clayton. You took one. I have my notes say July 25th, but I think you just testified a little day or two differently. August 1st also. So 5 positive tests before you filed this case.
Yes.
Did you have any negative tests before you filed this case?
No.
Laura, Clayton has argued. Let me go back to the night of May 20th. You have, in your deposition, you said that Clayton actually had sexual intercourse with you. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And was that true?
Yes.
Did you tell him that night that you did not want to have sex?
Yes.
And did he honor that request?
No.
Laura, you've heard Clayton argue at various places in this case that you were trying to trap him in some way by what happened here. Can you explain, if you were trying to trap him, why did you tell him that you didn't want to have sex?
Objection leading.
I wasn't trying to trap him.
Hold on 1 second.
Sorry.
Sustained.
Okay. But you never, that first night with Clayton, you never said to him, let's do it all night long or anything like that.
No.
Objection leading. Sustained.
Did you tell Clayton that you wanted to have sex that night?
No.
Laura, let's switch very quickly. Actually, let's go back to our timeline. After you filed the case on August 1, did you do anything in terms of DNA testing to verify the pregnancy and verify that Clayton was the father?
Yes.
What did you do to verify that?
We took a test. Well, I paid for a test in August at Ravgen, which was the lab that he chose to conduct the test. And I paid for it, and he did not schedule his part of the test.
So, according to my notes, August 15th was the Ravgen initial booking for $725 you paid. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Leading. Sustained.
What date did you initially book the Ravgen test for?
August 15th,
And what did you pay for it?
$725.
Okay. And why didn't that test go forward, or did it go forward?
Clayton did not schedule his part of the test.
Okay, so you had to cancel?
Yes.
You eventually successfully complete the testing.
Yes.
What was the result of that?
It was inconclusive, little to no fetal DNA.
Okay. Do you remember when that result came back?
I believe we took the test September 28th, so shortly thereafter.
All right. After the Ravgen results came back, did you have any further pregnancy tests?
Yes.
Do you remember the date, when and where that happened?
Yeah. It was October the 16th, I believe. And it was at any lab test now.
And was that a quantitative test? Did it involve a blood draw?
It was a blood draw, yes.
And do you remember the results of that test?
It still showed that I was pregnant.
At some point, did you eventually learn that you were no longer pregnant?
Yes.
What date did that happen?
November 15th, I believe.
And was that go to a facility called Mom Doc?
Yes.
And how many did they give you a pregnancy test then?
Yes.
More than one test?
They just gave me one test.
And the results were both negative.
Yes.
After you learned that you were no longer pregnant, November 14th, did you file anything further in this case?
No.
What was your intent? If we go back to the any lab test now, October 16th, you filed a request for mediation 2 days after that, correct?
Correct.
What was your intent in doing that?
I wanted to dismiss the case. I wanted to go over the test results.
Did you know how to dismiss the case?
No.
So you were making an effort to let Clayton know that you thought the pregnancy was probably ending badly and you wanted to drop the case.
Objection leading.
All right. Laura, let's switch topics briefly. Did Clayton ever lie to you about real estate contracts?
Yes.
Can you briefly explain what happened with that?
Yeah. I first met him as a realtor, and I had him make 2 offers on 2 different properties on the same day, and found out he never submitted those offers, but I signed them.
When were the offers submitted?
May 24th.
And when did you find out that Clayton didn't send them to the seller?
May 25th, because they were only good for 24 hours.
So he lied to you and said that he had sent offers in that he didn't.
Correct.
Objection argumentative and objection relevance.
Goes to,
Overruled.
go ahead.
Correct.
At some point, did you file a complaint against Clayton with the real estate board?
Yes, I did.
Did you receive a response from the board regarding your complaint?
Yes.
What was that response?
They found him in professional violation of a couple of things, but I can't remember what they were.
Laura, that issue with the real estate contracts happened before you tested positive for pregnancy, if I'm understanding the timeline correctly. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you ever learn why Clayton did not submit those offers, or why he said he didn't?
He said I didn't because he said I had no intention of purchasing real estate.
Did you have an intention of purchasing real estate?
Yes.
Did you wind up purchasing real estate?
Yes.
Let's talk about proof of pregnancy again. So did you take a photo of the test that you took on May 31st?
Yes, I did.
All right. I think attached, if you saw that, yeah, you saw that.
Yeah, I still have the exhibit.
So attached to this email are a couple of photos here. One's right there. Day 11, it says, is this a photograph that you took?
Yes, day 11 is one I took, and I believe the one above is one Clayton took.
Oh, okay. So the one that says day 11 is a photo that you took, and you sent that to Clayton at or around that time?
Yes.
And then the one above that is, it says day 21, and it also appears to show positive. And that's the test that Clayton gave you.
Yes.
And he sent that picture back to you.
Yeah, he took it right after the test at his place.
All right. And the test that you took at Banner and the results that you received there on June 1st, did you send that to Clayton?
Yes.
It's our exhibit A1, and I'll move to admit that one as well, Your Honor.
Any objection? No objection to A1, Your Honor.
A1's
Okay, Laura, did you do, regarding the Banner test, the day 11 test, or the day 21 test, those three tests, did you do anything at all to tamper with the results of those tests?
No.
Did you take any drugs, hormones, or any substance at all to affect the outcome?
No.
Did you use someone else's urine to change the outcome?
No.
Laura, in Clayton's deposition, this exact issue came up about him giving you the test and wanting you to take it in front of him. And he testified, I'll just read from his deposition. Yeah, I wanted to make sure she didn't bring anything into the bathroom, but she couldn't pee right in front of me because she said she had stage fright. So I closed the door so she would be able to pee. Is that deposition testimony truthful?
I did have stage fright. He was right. I did tell him that, but I did pee in front of him because he insisted that I did that.
Okay. And when he sent you the email on July 19th, June 19th, 2 days after you went to his house and took that third test in front of him, did he say anything at all about the fact that you closed the door and couldn't be in front of him?
No.
Okay. And Clayton, he obviously saw the first pregnancy test that you took. He saw the second one that you took, or the results of it anyway, and the third one that you took in front of him. If we go back to Exhibit A2, at the end of this email, Clayton says, at the very top of the page, he says, I say all this, and in the email, he talks about the fact he thought you might be on some medication that affected the results, I guess. But he says, at the top paragraph,
Your Honor, I'm going to object to taking information off of a potential piece of evidence that hasn't been admitted. He's giving quite a narrative.
that has been admitted.
Yeah, two's been received. If you look in the top left-hand corner, if there's a green sticker, that means it's been received.
My
If it's
apologies,
brown,
Your Honor.
it means it was declined. Go ahead, counsel.
Laura, the question I have for you regarding the first paragraph at the top of the page there, Clayton wrote, or the email says, this is why it's important for us to do the paternity test, because there's no question that if it comes back positive, it is mine. Did Clayton ever tell you that he wanted you to have a paternity test done?
Yes.
Did he ever say to you that if you didn't file this case, that he would?
Yes.
How many times?
I don't know how many times. A bunch of times.
At some point before you filed this case, did you hire a lawyer to help you?
Yes.
And who was that?
Bonnie Platter.
And she never appeared in any case for you, is my understanding. Is that right?
She never appeared.
Okay, but what did you have her do with regard to Clayton and the pregnancy issue?
I wanted to prevent filing a case publicly in court for both of our sakes. I didn't want it to be public and thought that we could come up with a parenting plan. If in fact the pregnancy was Clayton's, I thought we could come up with it on our own without having to involve the court.
Okay, so before you filed this case, you made an effort to work with him to get the test done privately without the court being involved.
Yes, and I hired the attorney. I said I would pay for it.
Did he hire anyone?
No.
To your knowledge? Laura, let's move forward to look at Exhibit A3, which, have you ever seen this before?
Yes.
Can you tell us what it is?
This is the message in my patient portal for, I'm part of a domestic violence brain injury program at Barrow. And this is a conversation with my doctor there.
Okay, did you send this email? It looks like it's an email dated June 28th from you to a Dr. Glynis Zeman, Z-I-E-M-A-N. Did you write that email?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to admit exhibit, whatever that is.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
A3 is received.
Laura, in this email at the very top there, you write to Dr. Zeman that you went to Planned Parenthood while in California, and you said they did a scan there, was confirmed that you were pregnant, and that they saw a sac. Does that refresh your recollection about the date that you went to see Planned Parenthood?
Yes.
And is the statement that you made to Dr. Zeman truthful?
Yes.
When you wrote that, did you know that anyone would ever see that in the light of day other than you and Dr. Zeman?
Nope. I had no idea.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain why you changed the name at the top of the sonogram that we talked about before from Planned Parenthood? I don't know if you answered that before.
Yeah. I just didn't want Clayton to know where I had gone to get the sonogram because he had been intimidating before.
If the court can help me switch from my exhibits to Clayton's.
Sure, if you scroll down to where, yeah, that exactly. Now go all the way to the bottom. There should be an R. Keep going if you're able to.
Stop there. I don't see that. Oh, right, it's tiny. I'm blind.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah,
then share symbol.
yeah, got it. And we're gonna go. Yeah, okay. Oh, I want to see Clayton's exhibits though.
Yeah, you're gonna scroll all the way down.
Respondents. Gotcha. Okay, Laura, looking at respondents exhibit 31. I don't know why that doesn't match. No, that's not it either. These are not the same as.
So what you want to do is, it may not be the exhibit numbers that the attorneys labeled it as being. Those are the court designations.
I'm looking for his exhibit 31.
All right, so if you look for his exhibit 31, that does show that it is exhibit 31.
Exhibit 31 on his exhibit list is listed petitioner faking ultrasound. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was a video. There we go. That's what I wanted to see right there. Laura, Clayton's exhibit 31 is appears to be an email from you to Clayton. It says ultrasound video proof. Clayton, here is my 100 billion% real ultrasound video. You recognize that?
It's not an email that I sent, but I've seen it since.
Okay. Well, you answered my question. Do you know first of all, what this exhibit shows? Do you know what it shows?
I do now.
Laura, assuming that what we're looking at here is meant to be an email from you, did you send this to Clayton?
I did not.
Did you ever send Clayton an email with a ultrasound video attached to it?
I did not.
Do you have any idea why Clayton would think that you sent him an email like this?
Well, yeah, that has my signature on it.
Well, that's a fair statement. But you didn't send this. Do you know who did?
I have my suspicions, but I can't be.
No, let's hear it. I'd like to hear it.
I have a suspicion that an ex of mine sent this to Clayton.
Who? Which ex?
Greg Gillespie.
Is he in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think Greg Gillespie sent this?
Because Greg has hacked my email before and has admitted to hacking other people's emails.
Okay. So you're obviously under oath, under penalty of perjury. You did not send that email and you don't know who did.
Correct.
Okay. Let's talk about going back to our exhibit A5. Got it. Whoops. So can you tell us what exhibit A5 is? Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Is this a receipt it's an email, but does this reflect the RavGen that you talked about before?
Yes.
Okay, and that was August 15th that you made that payment?
Yes.
And then later on here at the bottom, you indicate, let's see here. Friday, this appears to be an email from you Friday, August 18th. Did you write that email?
Yes.
You send that to, well, it looks like to Clayton and also CC'd RavGen?
Yes.
It states here that unfortunately Clayton has refused to take the prenatal paternity test. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Is that the reason why the test didn't happen in mid-August?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I move to admit Exhibit A5.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
A5's received.
Okay, let's look at Clayton's Exhibit 9. Hopefully, there we go. Laura, do you recognize this exhibit, Exhibit 9?
Yes.
This appears to be an email from you to Clayton dated October 14th, 2023. And this is an email that you sent him?
Yes.
All right. In this email, first of all, you're saying some reference to a sonogram video, and you said it matches up with the still video that Dave sent me. I assume that we're talking about Dave.
Yes.
And you told him this was not my ultrasound. I stand by that 100%. Did Dave Neal ever? Well, first of all, who's Dave Neal?
Dave Neal's a content creator.
And at some point, did Dave send you a sonogram video and ask if it was yours?
Yes.
What did you say to him?
I said it was not mine.
Did you ever have a sonogram video of any kind with Clayton?
No.
Did you ever send a sonogram video to anyone claiming that it showed the pregnancy with Clayton?
No.
If we go down to the second paragraph, Laura, I'm going to see if I can highlight here. And again, this is Utah. I can't highlight. The second sentence in the second paragraph, I'll read it. I think you were very, very high that night, and you forgot that when you were on top of you on your couch, you were begging me to let you put it in for 30 seconds, then 25, then 20, 15, 10, and I said no each time. Then I thought you were just fingering me, but you stuck it in briefly. First of all, you wrote those words to Clayton, right?
Yes.
And were those words accurate?
Yes.
Is that what happened that night on May 20th?
Yes.
When you sent this email to Clayton, did he ever respond back to you and deny that that's what happened?
No.
Let's talk now about the last positive test that you took. Let me see here. It says Exhibit A9, but that's not it. You went to any lab test now at some point. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And when did that happen?
On October 16th, I believe.
Okay. Why? Again, these aren't matching up. Are we on? Yeah, we're on his. That's fine. Okay. I need new glasses. There it is. Okay. So Laura, looking at Exhibit A9, do you recognize what this is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the results from the test I took at any lab test now.
And is it your understanding that result, it says 102H, is it your understanding that you were testing pregnant at still in mid-October 2023?
Yes.
Objection misstates the evidence.
Overruled. Be addressed in cross-examination.
So did you do anything at all to tamper with this test, take any drugs, inject yourself with anything at all to affect this?
No, I did not.
And this was a blood draw that came out of your arm?
Yes.
Did you supply them the blood yourself, or did a phlebotomist take it out of your arm?
A phlebotomist took it.
So 2 days after this is when you filed the request for mediation, I think, in this case, right?
Yes.
And after that date, you filed nothing further.
This was 2 days prior to when I filed for mediation.
Did you pretty much understand that when you got this test that was probably not going to be a viable pregnancy?
That it was probably not. Yeah, but I still saw that it said anything over 4 was pregnant. So,
Your Honor, I move to admit Exhibit A9.
No objection.
A9.
And A11 is going to be. Can you tell us if you recognize what this is?
the records from Mom Doc.
Okay, and this is an OBGYN facility that you visited?
Yes.
And according to the date here, it says November 14th, 2023. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And so this is when you went in and had a test done that came back negative, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Move to admit A11 if we have.
No objection.
A11's received.
All right. Laura, let's look at Exhibit A6. Can you tell us what Exhibit A6 is?
Yes, that's me showing my pregnant stomach.
And when did you create that video? Do you know?
September the 19th.
Okay. Let me see here. Your Honor, I'll move to admit A6.
No objection, Your Honor.
A6 is received.
And let's look at A7. It's a similar video. Did you take this video yourself, or it looks like you're obviously not
Yeah.
holding the camera, but what you put on?
Yeah, I put it on the stand. Yeah.
You took this video. Do you remember the date of this?
October the 9th.
Okay. I don't know if it showed anything there, but it's real short. Okay. Laura, between May 20th and November 14th, we've established November 14th, you were no longer pregnant. Did you experience any pregnancy symptoms?
Yes.
Can you explain what those symptoms were?
Yeah, I had very bad morning sickness and nausea, and my breasts were very tender.
Remember how much you weighed when you went to see Mom Doc?
I believe it was 121. Or, I'm sorry, no, not Mom Doc. I thought you were meaning in May. I was 133 at Mom Doc. I'm sorry about that.
So around the time that this was taken, your weight was 133. What do you weigh today?
91 pounds.
Will you stand up and show the court and everyone what you look like now compared to the picture behind you? Can you come out from behind the screen there? And just do a little turn for us. Laura, that's enough, thanks. For the last time, were you pregnant with Clayton?
Yes.
Did you think that you were pregnant with Clayton?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to think that you weren't when you filed this case?
No.
Did you lie about being pregnant with Clayton?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, counsel, you've used 29 minutes and 30 seconds. When you're ready.
And Your Honor, is it okay if I proceed from the podium? Will the court be able to hear me?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. We have a media microphone on the podium, correct? Okay, all right. When you're ready.
Good morning, Ms. Owens.
Good morning.
You understand that you're currently under oath and must testify truthfully today, correct?
Correct.
You understand the difference between the truth and the lie, right?
Obviously, yes.
And you would agree with me that fabricating or doctoring evidence is dishonest and unreasonable behavior, right?
Right.
And you're aware that lying under oath is a crime in the state of Arizona, correct?
Correct.
And the reason I'm asking you these questions, Ms. Owens, is because I've cross-examined you before, right?
Right.
I cross-examined you in the injunction against harassment for offenses on November 2nd of 2020, right?
Right.
And during this hearing, that hearing, you'd recall that I gave you the opportunity to correct the record and come clean about any false information or testimony you may have provided, right?
Right.
And you told me you had nothing to correct, right?
Correct.
And then you proceeded to lie to the court.
Objection, argumentative, Your Honor.
Sustained.
You testified that you were 100% pregnant on November 2nd, correct?
Correct.
And you testified that you were 24 weeks pregnant specifically.
Correct.
I'd like you to take a look at your exhibit A11, please.
She's got them in front
I
of
can see. Yeah.
Ms. Owens, this appointment that you attended at Mom Doc on November 14th of 2023 was 12 days after I cross-examined, right?
Correct.
And during that cross-examination, I pointed out that you had no legitimate medical records to support the pregnancy, right?
I mean, you said that, but I don't agree with it. No.
At this appointment, Ms. Owens, it was confirmed that you were not pregnant, correct?
Correct.
These Mom Doc records also indicate that you were diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian, right?
I've had that since I was 17. Yes.
Okay. And you'll recall at the hearing on November 2nd, specific questioned you about any physical health diagnosis that you had, right?
I don't remember, but if you say so, then yes.
You failed to testify that you had PCOS, right?
I can't say one way or the other if I did or didn't. I'll take your word for it, but it's not something that I live with daily.
You also failed to tell me that in 2016, Doctors Chan and Yi diagnosed you with cancer and apparently removed one of your ovaries.
They did not.
So as you sit here today, you're denying that.
I will absolutely deny that that happened.
Now, per what you reported, what you self-reported to the Mom Doc, they listed a spontaneous abortion date of August 12th of 2023 at 8 weeks pregnant, correct?
They listed a lot of things that were inaccurate here. I never told them that I had an abortion that date.
Okay, well, spontaneous abortion, if I were to tell you, is a miscarriage. Do you agree with me that they listed a miscarriage date of August 12th of 2023 at 8 weeks pregnant?
Yes, but I also never was pregnant in 2019, so I don't know where that came from.
And Ms. Owens, based on what you know about pregnancy, as someone who's allegedly been pregnant 3 or 4 times in the past, you miscarried at 8 weeks pregnant, that wouldn't line up with your alleged conception date with Mr. Eckert, would it?
I don't know, and I'm telling you, I never told them that I was 8 weeks pregnant and lost that on August 12th.
In your mom doc record, also in your deposition, self-reported that you passed 2 sacs which appeared to have a membrane, correct?
Correct.
I'd like you to take a look at what we marked as Exhibit 49, your deposition transcript. Ms. Owens, you recall sitting for a deposition on March 1st of 2024, correct?
Correct.
And your counsel at the time following that deposition was provided with a copy of this transcript as well as you, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't take any opportunity to correct this transcript.
I actually didn't see it until you guys sent it to us. My former counsel never showed this to me. So
Okay. Well, you're aware that this has been marked as a copy of your deposition transcript for March 1st of 2024, correct?
correct.
And this is a true and accurate copy of the transcript that you received, correct?
From your office, yes. I did not get one prior to that.
I move the petition of Exhibit 49, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Is that A or B, counsel? I apologize.
I guess it would be, Your Honor.
B49 is received.
And Ms. Owens, during your deposition, specifically on page 149, lines 18 through 21, you testified that you started spotting, meaning you were having a light period in August or September, correct?
I wasn't having a light period. I didn't end up getting a period until November.
Well, in your
I
deposition,
said light spotting, but sorry. I said light spotting, but that wasn't a period.
in your deposition, 151, line 24, you claim you passed the 2 stacks which appeared to have a membrane in September or October, correct?
Correct.
But in the mom doc records, you claim you passed the 2 stacks a few weeks after your alleged ultrasound at Planned Parenthood, right?
Several weeks after.
There's an inconsistency there, right?
Right. I wasn't sure what the date was.
No OBGYN or qualified medical professional conducted an ultrasound, performed a physical examination, or performed a blood test to confirm your alleged pregnancy on or before August 1st of 2023, right?
Wrong.
Okay, let's talk about that. I suspected you would answer that this way. You claim that you had an alleged ultrasound at Planned Parenthood, Southern California, correct?
Correct.
And you testified during your deposition that the alleged ultrasound at Planned Parenthood was in Mission Viejo, California on July 7th of 2023,
Mhm.
right?
I did say it was there. That's where I was staying at the time in Mission Viejo.
While being examined by your attorney, Mr. Ingris, you said that you went to Planned Parenthood under a fake name, right?
Right.
But you didn't bother to provide our office the alleged name that you went to Planned Parenthood under, right?
Right.
And you knew that we were seeking your records from Planned Parenthood specifically because of the alleged ultrasound you had there, right?
Right.
So wouldn't it have made sense to provide our office with a copy or the name that you allegedly went to Planned Parenthood under?
I felt like the whole purpose of going to Planned Parenthood is to remain anonymous, and that's one of my protections.
I want you to take a look at Exhibit 20. Is this a true and accurate picture of the ultrasound claim you received at Planned Parenthood in California in July of 2020?
That looks like it, yes.
And move to Exhibit 28, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
B28 is received.
And Ms. Owens, this ultrasound image does not say Planned Parenthood. It says SMIL, which I'll call SMILE for today, correct?
Correct.
And in your deposition, you admitted you altered this ultrasound picture to say SMILE instead of Planned Parenthood, right?
Correct.
And you admitted in your deposition to altering this picture on the Adobe Acrobat program at your house, right?
Correct.
During the deposition, you testified that the date listed here of July 7th of 2023 was correct and hadn't been edited by you, right?
Correct.
But you later admit that you lied about this July 7th ultrasound date, right?
Correct.
And you execute an affidavit on April 16th of 2024, claiming the correct date for this already doctored ultrasound is actually July 2nd of 2020, correct?
Correct.
So I want to get this straight, Ms. Owens. You initially claimed you had an ultrasound at Planned Parenthood on July 7th, which you doctored to say it was from Smile, right?
Correct.
Then the story changes again, and you claim that the ultrasound image should actually be dated July 2nd of 2020, right?
Correct.
So you changed the date on the ultrasound from July 2nd to July 7th, correct?
Correct.
And you utilized this altered or fake ultrasound to try to convince Mr. Eckert and the court and the media that you were pregnant with Mr. Eckert's twins.
This was never submitted to the court.
You're aware that Planned Parenthood has no record of an ultrasound, correct?
Under my real name, yes, I'm aware.
And again, established you didn't provide our office with the name of your that you allegedly went to Planned Parenthood under, correct?
Correct.
You never attended an appointment with Planned Parenthood.
Yes, I did.
You take a look at it. This is a true and accurate copy of our request and response from Planned Parenthood regarding your records dated April 26th of 2024, correct?
Correct. I don't believe I've seen this, but I have no idea.
And counsel, I'm so sorry. I'll stop the clock like I've done for the others. We're going to give you a microphone because as I anticipated, there was a problem picking up.
Audio check.
We work with what we have, right? All right, go ahead. Thank you.
I'll ask that a question one more time, Your Honor. Ms. Owens, Exhibit 29 is a copy of our request and the response from Planned Parenthood regarding your records in April 26th of 2024, correct?
Correct.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 29, Your Honor.
Objection?
No objection.
B29 is received.
And while you've indicated today that you went to Planned Parenthood under a fake name, this letter actually indicates that you had scheduled an appointment for July 2nd, but that you failed to attend.
Correct.
It also indicates that the ultrasound image that you claimed was from Planned Parenthood was not from Planned Parenthood because it was not consistent with ultrasound images generated by their practice, right?
Not by the one in Mission Viejo. Correct.
Ms. Owens, these are yes or no questions. This document states that the ultrasound image you have claimed is from Planned Parenthood is not consistent with ultrasound images generated by their practice, right?
By that practice, but as they said, I could have been seen by another different entity.
Ms. Owens, you're well aware that this request covered all of Orange County and San Bernardino County.
It didn't cover Los Angeles, though.
So now you're saying you went to Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So you're telling us you went to Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles on the day of trial today.
Yes.
Okay. When did you go to Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles?
Exactly when I said I went.
When was that?
July 2nd.
Okay. I'd like to go back to the two SACs you passed. So again, in your deposition, you claimed you passed them in September or October, right?
Yes.
But then you changed the date and claimed that you passed these two SACs on July 23rd of 2020, right?
Right.
And you actually had an appointment scheduled with Dr. McCool, who you claimed is your high-risk perinatologist, for July 24th of 2020, right?
Right, that I canceled days prior.
Okay, so you canceled that appointment,
Days prior.
and you rescheduled it to August 7th, right?
Yes, if that's the date that I did.
So wouldn't you agree with me that for someone who has had miscarriages in the past and who has an alleged high-risk pregnancy, it would be prudent to attend an in-person appointment shortly after passing two SACs?
Well, that's why I asked the doctors online.
Oh, and these are yes or no questions.
I'm
You're looking at your attorney, but you need
Who's
to look at
shaking-
the question for me.
okay. Can you ask the question again?
Wouldn't you agree that as someone who has a high-risk pregnancy that allegedly passed two SACs on July 23rd of 2023, it would have been important for you to see your high-risk perinatologist immediately after that happening?
Well, that's why I scheduled that's why I immediately contacted telemedicine. It was at night.
You contacted a telemed provider instead of attending the appointment with your high-risk perinatologist.
It had already been canceled days prior.
So you had 4 appointments scheduled with Dr. McCool that you never attended, right?
Correct.
And you intentionally failed to attend those appointments because all of those appointments would have resulted in a medical record that stated you were not pregnant, right?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained to the form of the question, but you can ask the question in a different way.
I'll move on here. During the November 2nd hearing, you denied that the DNA test results came back with little to no fetal DNA, right?
What?
During the November 2nd hearing,
I said that the test was.
the question is on. During the November 2nd hearing, you denied that the DNA test results came back with little to no fetal DNA. Ms. Owens, I see you continue.
No, I didn't. I never said it didn't. I said it came
I'm
back
confused.
inconclusive.
I'm confused about what date she's referring to. What
November 2nd.
November 2nd hearing?
November 2nd hearing.
Okay, again, before my time, so that's why I'm confused. I apologize.
Can you answer the question?
I said it was inconclusive and it was little to no fetal DNA. I never said it came back anything but that.
Okay, well, today you've admitted that there was little to no fetal DNA, right?
I've never said there was anything else.
You also ordered and took a blood HCG test through any lab test now on October 16th of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And I'd like you to take a look at Exhibit 36, page 201. So this has already been admitted, so we'll move past that. By the time of this test on November 16th, you had claimed you were previously seen at Banner, Planned Parenthood, Dr. McCool, Dr. Higley, and even Dr. Zeman, right?
Your Honor, objection. She misstated the date. She said September 16th, I believe. It's October
That
16th.
can be addressed in redirect.
I said that Dr. McCool's my doctor. I did not say that I had seen him. I said I had seen Dr. Higley and the rest. Correct.
We'll talk about Dr. Higley soon here, but your answer is would you like me to repeat the question, Ms. Owens?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to stand here because it seems like you're looking at Mr. Gingrich quite a bit for guidance.
No, I don't need guidance from my attorney. I know how to answer the questions.
By the time of your appointment for this test on October 16th of 2023, you claimed you were previously seen at Banner, Planned Parenthood, Dr. Higley, and even Dr. Z, right?
Yes.
But instead of going to any of those providers for this test, you went to an entirely new provider, correct?
I just went on my way home from taking the RavGen test, actually.
Yes or no questions?
Well, it wasn't a provider. It was a self-paid test. So
Okay, so you didn't go to any of your prior providers for this test, right?
correct.
By your own admission in your affidavit signed April 16th of 2024, this result of an HCG level of 102 was not consistent with pregnancy, right?
Objection misstates the testimony.
Overruled. You can answer.
Oh, can you say it again? I'm sorry.
By your own admission, the test result of 102 for the level for HCG is not consistent with a pregnancy.
Objection.
I
Go ahead.
I learned that it was.
Learned that it was consistent with pregnancy or was not consistent with pregnancy.
Well, the test results said anything above 4 was pregnant. So I thought 102 was pregnant, but then I learned it was not.
So you would agree with me that it's not consistent with pregnancy.
No, I wouldn't.
You doctored this particular test twice, correct?
I doctored the test once.
Okay, and when was that?
When I tried to send it to Dave Neal to get him to stop creating harassing videos at me,
And what amount of doctorate level was that?
it was like 102,000, I believe.
So can you pull up Exhibit 17, page 113? Ms. Owens, you'll recognize this as it looks like the same test from October 16th, but it has an HCG level different than what you just indicated, and it says 131,902.
Okay.
correct?
Yes, that's,
So you also doctored this test.
no, I didn't know what the number was that I had made it to.
Well, Ms. Owens, I agree with you. You doctored this test twice, one to say 102,000 and again to say 131,902, right?
I doctored it, I guess, to say 131,902.
As of October 17th, 2023, when you received this test result, you had reason to believe you were not pregnant, right?
Yes, after doing some research, yes.
Okay. But then you proceeded to lie under oath at hearings before this court on October 24th, October 25th, and November 2nd, correct?
That's not correct, no.
Instead of telling the truth, you tampered with this HCG test to increase the level and offered that as support for a pregnancy.
To a content creator, not to the court.
You also testified on November 2nd, unequivocally, that your OBGYNs were Dr. McCool and Dr. Higgins, right?
Right,
In fact, you went so far as to state that your main OBGYN is the perinatalogist, Dr. McCool, right?
correct.
You further testified on November 2nd that you had last seen Dr. Higley on last Friday, right?
Right.
You lied to the court when you made these statements.
I had the appointment scheduled, which you guys have.
Yes, no questions.
I know, but it needs to be answered. Correct. It needs to be answered. I had an appointment scheduled with him that I did not attend, but I did have an appointment scheduled.
Okay, so when you say you were seen by a doctor, that's not the same as having an appointment scheduled, correct?
Correct.
So we would agree that you were dishonest when you said you were physically seen by Dr. Higley the Friday before the November 2nd hearing.
Correct. That's a very minor thing.
Stop.
Yeah, really.
So
You know,
you've never been seen
I mean, if
by-
this is good, I'm not comfortable if the JFC crew is going to be having reactions, honestly.
Okay, I'm going to stop the clock at this time. Counsel, you ask questions. Ma'am, you answer the questions. I could ask the gallery to please keep your
I
reactions-
think I
I'm
can't.
still talking, ma'am. Keep your comments to a minimum or you will be asked to leave. Go ahead, counsel.
So it's never been seen by Dr. McCool, Dr. Higley for any medical appointment, correct?
Correct.
And the records from Dr. McCool's office indicate that you made 4 appointments that you never attended, correct?
Correct.
And the records from Dr. Higley's office that we obtained indicate that they have no records for you from August 2020 through the present, right?
I'm sorry, you said Dr. Higley or Dr. McCool? Can I take a minute?
Can we have just a 5-minute recess?
Sure, at this time. No, go ahead. What were you going to say, counsel?
I'm just concerned about our time constraint. That's all you're. So
Well, we factored in a 10-minute break. So what we'll do is we'll take it now. And then when we come back, there will be no further breaks. So that's just something for the parties to keep in mind. We'll stand in recess.
all right.
Two minutes. And I'm gonna go with you. Water. I want to drink water.
In the witness stand?
Quick time check, Judge.
Sure. Petitioners at 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Respondents at 22 minutes and 1 second.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, you testified at the November 2nd hearing that you had a due date of February 14th of 2024, which is Valentine's Day, correct?
Correct.
But you don't have a single medical record to support that alleged due date, right?
No, I do. I was trying to say I do have a record. That's what I was told by Tamara Lister at Banner Health, was that it would be Valentine's Day.
You're aware that the records that you provided from Banner did not indicate any due date, right?
It was in conversation with her as to when the due date would be.
Yes or no questions. You're aware that the record you provided from Banner lists no such due date, right?
It can't be answered in a yes or no manner. I'm saying
Yes, no, or I don't know.
so then can you please repeat the question?
Ms. Owens, you're aware that the record from Banner that you provided, that your attorney just admitted into evidence, does not have an alleged due date of any kind on it, right?
Okay, then yes.
I want you to take a look at what's our Exhibit 17, page 110. And this is the same as your Exhibit A1. This is a picture you took of a portion of a page from Banner, correct?
Correct.
Where is the rest of the document, Ms. Owens?
Clayton had it.
I'm asking you, where is the rest of the document in this particular exhibit?
I don't know, but there's nothing I was trying to hide from it. Clayton got the entire thing.
So you recognize you can accuse of faking records, right?
Yes.
And you expect the court to accept a picture of a portion of an alleged record?
You guys got the results yourselves. So
These are yes or no questions.
that's
Attorney
not
is going to have an
fair.
opportunity to conduct redirect examination and elaborate then.
I mean, that's not fair. You guys know that you have the results of this that show the same thing. So I wasn't hiding anything here. That's not fair.
I have to move on to ask for findings non-responsive.
Court will designate it as non-responsive.
For someone who's been involved in court cases nonstop since at least 2016.
You know what? That's not accurate. I have not been involved nonstop since
I'm going to stop the
2016.
clock for a moment, and I'm going to remind the parties. Counsel, you ask a question, ma'am, you answer the question. Otherwise, we move into a different area that I don't think anyone wants to go into. Counsel, resume.
Ms. Owens, you have been involved in court cases since at least 2016, correct?
Nonstop, or are you saying since 2016? Can you just rephrase the question?
Answer the question as I've asked it. Been involved in court cases since 2016?
No.
Okay. This particular document, Exhibit A1, has 3 different types of highlighting on it, correct?
I see 2.
And Isabel, if you can please pull our Exhibit 17, page 110. You'll see this is the same document, but I believe maybe when your office scanned it in, you can't see all the highlighting. So I'm going to show you ours. You see there's 3 different types of highlighting.
Yes.
And you highlighted this on the same Adobe Acrobat program that you used to alter the other records, correct?
This was the doctor highlighted point of care test results, and then I highlighted first trimester pregnancy and encounter for pregnancy test on my iPhone, but it wasn't Adobe Acrobat.
There's 2 different types of highlighting on this document, correct?
Yes.
And I want to talk to you about the date of this alleged HCG test. We can agree that a woman typically takes the pregnancy test when they miss their menstrual period, right?
Well, my case was different.
So these are yes or no questions.
I think the answer depends. I don't get a period, so I don't know how to answer that.
Okay. So you don't get a regular.
I don't.
So you took this test before the missing a period, right?
Correct.
And between 2014 and the present, you have alleged that you were pregnant by 4 different men, correct?
Correct.
And all 4 of those men told you, one way or another, that they believed you fabricated those pregnancies, right?
The first was not so specific about that.
And 3 of them are here today, right?
Correct.
And they also believe that you doctored medical records, right?
Objection foundation.
Sustained.
I'll move on, Your Honor. Ms. Owens, each time that one of these three men refused to be in a relationship with you and questioned your pregnancy narrative, you obtained an order of protection against them, right?
False.
Okay, well, you have an order of protection against Mr. Greg Gillespie, correct?
Correct.
And he didn't believe that you were ever pregnant with his child, right?
No, that's wrong. That's He had me, I went to a doctor. He told me I needed to go to the specific doctor to confirm the pregnancy, which I did. We spoke to
Okay,
him.
stop. I'm striking that response. The court reporter has been very clear. Everyone's talking over each other for appellate purposes. And the fact that one of the parties is paying for the court reporter, implore you please to talk one at a time. With regards to the objection, it's overruled. Go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, I'll move on in the interest of time. Ms. Owens, you didn't file an affidavit of financial information in this case, did you?
I did.
When did you file that?
August or September. It's with the court.
Okay.
It's on the record.
Well, consistent with your deposition testimony and your April 16th affidavit, you would agree with me that you make approximately $200,000 a year and then have approximately $500,000 in like a money market, right?
I don't have $500,000 in a money market account.
Okay, but you would agree with me that you make approximately $200,000 a year?
It's with businesses I have with my mom, so it's proportional to us.
Okay.
With our companies, yeah.
Ms. Owens, I want to give you one more opportunity. The media is here. You know that this case has gone viral. You have an opportunity right now to come clean and start fresh. So I'm going to ask you one final time. You were never pregnant by Clayton Eckert, correct?
That is absolutely incorrect.
Time, Judge.
Time check, 28 minutes, 46 seconds. Redirect when you're ready.
Your Honor, I've got about 3 questions. First of all, Laura, looking at Exhibit A0, are we on my screen? This is the timeline that we talked about before. Can you just go back over that real quick? And does that accurately reflect the testimony you gave earlier regarding your version of the events?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to admit Exhibit A0 under, it's a Rule 1006. It's a summary of testimony.
Your Honor, I would object. I don't believe this is an accurate summary of the testimony today.
That's for the
All right.
finding.
Over objection, the court will receive what's been marked as A30, giving it the weight that it deserves. It doesn't appear to be demonstratively.
Right. Laura, regarding Banner, there was some comment just a minute ago that you didn't produce records from Banner. To your knowledge, did you authorize Mr. Woodnick or his firm to get records from Banner?
Yes.
And looking at Exhibit A1, it's not just a photo of, the first page is a photo of something, but can you tell us what the second page here is?
That's from my patient portal showing that I was positive for Banner.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did Mr. Woodnick actually receive records from Banner? Did he ask for them?
Yes.
And did he get them?
Yes.
Okay. One final thing. You said before on cross-examination that when you saw that 102 HCG test from October 16th, that you believe that meant you were not pregnant. Do you understand the difference between a viable pregnancy and a non-viable one?
Yes.
Do you believe that the 102 number that you got in October 16th of 2023 meant that you were not pregnant at all?
Objection leading.
What was your understanding of that 102 number? What did it mean to you?
That I was still pregnant as it was over 4 was what it said.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you can go sit back down.
One more time check, Judge.
Sure. Respondent's at 28 minutes, 46 seconds. Petitioner is